Good day. We are Group 3 presenting our SDG service project, School Tours. We would also be presenting the film we chose as well as the SDG that we related to it. This project is presented by Ambon, Blanco, Gonzalez, Jovellanos, Rubio, and Gulia. Here we have the outline of our presentation. Our chosen SDG is Goal 10, reduce inequalities within and among countries. Global inequalities has been a long-term problem and has only been recently highlighted, despite being an issue that dates back long before organizations such as the UN even existed. Here is a quote from the Sustainable Development Goals report for 2020. Inequality exists in various forms such as economic, sex, disability, race, social inequality, and different forms of discrimination. This SDG simply calls the nations to lessen inequalities, whether in age, sex, disability, ethnicity, race, origin, religion, economic, or any other status within a country. These are some key points as to why there is a need to achieve reducing inequalities. Issues related to health, pollution, and environmental justices could also stem from these existing inequalities. Those who are discriminated, so groups from indigenous communities, minorities, communities of low socioeconomic status, tend to get the short end of the stick, meaning these people end up with less privileges, hindering them to their basic needs. Studies of environmental justice suggest that these communities end up living in places with higher risk of exposure to pollution and toxic contamination, which could lead to long-term health and environmental threats. Another point is due to globalization. Globalization caused by migration, displacement, and dispossession also end up permitting inequalities. Without proper education as to why people are migrating or being displaced, discrimination happens when they come into a situation where they are misunderstood as invading another place. The following are the sub-targets of Goal 10: reduce income inequalities, promote universal social, economic, and political inclusion, ensure equal opportunities and end discrimination, adopt fiscal and social policies that promote equality, improved regulation of global financial markets and institutions, enhance representation for developing countries in financial institutions, responsible and well-managed migration policies, special and differential treatment for developing countries, encourage development assistance and investment in least developed countries, and reduce transaction costs for migrant remittances. We aim to highlight the first four sub-goals, which will be seen in the movie we have chosen. We chose the animated movie The King and I, directed by Richard Rich. This movie was an adaptation from the 1956 musical film. The movie trailer depicts a dramatized story of English teacher Anna Lenowan's historical encounter with the King of Siam and his court. Thus, we present the movie trailer of The King and I.
In a land far, far away, he was the king, and his word was law.
Someday you too will know everything.
When do I know that I know everything?
When you are king.
She's coming, the king's new school teacher.
Let's show them something truly barbaric.
Where is school teacher?
Now, a woman with a mind of her own.
I won't have soldiers at my door.
You will stand here and meet royal children.
Will open his eyes to a changing world.
You've never been outside?
No.
What? Royal children outside palace?
Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy.
Warner Brothers Family Entertainment and Morgan Creek Productions invite you into a mysterious kingdom where a trusted friend plots betrayal.
I will be ruler of Siam.
Ooh, that scared me.
A servant girl will find her strength.
Who are you?
An object, like rug given to king.
A prince will defy his father.
Servant girl and prince forbidden.
And a king will discover the true power of friendship.
You have been great help to me.
I'm speechless.
For once. Come.
Discover all the magic the music, and all the adventure of The King and I.
Etc., etc., etc.
To connect the chosen SDG, we will be focusing on Anna, the king, and Tuptim. So Anna is making her first trip to Siam. While she is there, she courageously defends her moral convictions in the face of a powerful foe in the king. And eventually, she contributes to the restoration of the king's realm. As a woman, Anna faced all the challenges thrown at her, and it depicts the importance of our voice no matter what gender. As education is banned for servants like Tuptim, Anna stressed that education is for everyone, whatever economic or social status you belong to. We also have the King of Siam, who is strong, wise, and intellectually interested. He will not put up with anyone showing any disrespect. The king wants Siam to adopt the best of Western civilization, including things like a printing press. SDG number 10 also encourages development assistance and investment in least developed countries, which the king desires as he seeks help from the British. This shows improved regulation of global financial markets and institutions on the future of Siam and is what the king wants for his country. And he also welcomes this change openly. We also have Tuptim, who is introduced in the movie scene in the Grand Palace. Our protagonist Anna witnesses King Mongkut receiving a gift in the form of a slave, which is Tuptim. Tuptim is a slave who reads books, which is frowned upon since reading is not allowed for someone of her status. This showed a system of inequality towards economic status wherein Tuptim is denied of freedom and education. Besides being denied of reading books, it is also discouraged to have a relationship with someone from a higher status. Furthermore, we will discuss key events in the movie and how they relate to the Sustainable Development Goals. One of the scenes showed Anna taking the royal children to see the community outside of the palace. We can say that she imposed a thought of promoting universal social, economic, and political inclusion to the children that will make them see the realities beyond the luxury that the palace gives, and of course to ground them into egalitarian thinking. The next scene is of Kralahome showing the barbaric treatings of the king to Anna. This is an example of the stereotypes happening to cultures or people mostly from the East. This stems from the negative perspective given by the Western society. Usually, ethnocentric views are put upon other cultures that are not Western. Lastly, the romance between Tuptim and Prince Chulalongkorn shows that social status should not be a cause for division. We can see that Prince Chulalongkorn was eager to fight against the social construct in his country, which is a crown prince should marry a noble and not someone of low status compared to him. He wanted an end to the discrimination against Tuptim, who was a slave.
This time, we will be discussing the planned division of tasks and the timetable of the group's advocacy project. For the task and the subtask, here is the list of tasks that need to be accomplished. Task 1 will be the initial planning stage. During this stage, the group will look for public schools within Metro Manila where the project can be conducted. Moreover, planning for post-viewing activities for the kids and planning and computation of budget for snacks will also be done on the planning stage. Task 2 will focus on the project's fundraising. It is only quite logical that the project needs funds, therefore fundraising will also be conducted. All the monetary and in-kind donation that the drive will receive will all be allocated in the project. In conducting the fundraising, the group will create a page promoting the project. Once the page reaches a certain number of followers, a donation drive Kickstarter will then be created. Moreover, the project will also open itself for volunteer works, thus, there will also be volunteer sign-ups on this stage. Task 3 will be the preparation for the program, wherein renting and or gathering the needed equipments, scheduling the date and time with the partnered schools, and buying all the necessary materials will be done. Basically, Task 3 is where the group is getting ready for the program as the target date is fast approaching. Then, finally, as the day comes, the execution of the program. The program will begin with a short introduction, followed by the screening of the movie. Then, a post-viewing activity for the kids will be conducted. This will serve as a checkup to what they have learned in the film watching. Snacks will then be distributed, which will serve as a closing of the program. This project will be targeting children, specifically children in public schools, but would also open itself to people of all ages. Our group believes that at a young age, children should be exposed to films that will open their minds to relevant social issues. As this is an animated film, it would appeal better to younger audiences. This movie will allow them to relate to some characters as there are children figures with whom they may reflect themselves. Moreover, this film also showcases some sustainable development goals which could spark interest and inspire them to be involved in works centered around sustainability in the future. Here are the stakeholders and their roles in the project. First, the group ourselves will be spearheading the advocacy that bridges culture and sustainable development. We will be the ones who will conduct the planning, fundraising, preparation, and execution of the project. Next are the schools where the project will immerse. We will be in need of the teachers' help in managing the students so that the film watching will be well supervised. Then comes the parents, as the students need not only the supervision of their teachers but as well as of their parents. We will ask for parents' approval and consent before conducting the screening. And finally, the gem of this project, the students. They will play a huge part as the participants of this program. They are expected to learn and to reflect on the movie and the sustainable development goals that our group will present. Furthermore, they are expected to pass on the advocacy and participate in future activities that will promote sustainable development. Now, here are the roles to be fulfilled by each member of the group. First, the editor. The editor is the primary responsible for checking the team's technical output, such as grammar, sentence composition, and other textual aspects. This role is assigned to Ms. Gonzalez. Next is the creative designer. The creative designer has a responsibility to handle the graphics needed in the presentation of the project alongside other creative features of the project. Everyone in our group is assigned to creative designing. Data gatherer. The data gatherer has the responsibility to search for the necessary data needed in the project. This role is assigned to Ms. Kulia. Voiceover. The voiceover is to ensure that the message of the project will be clear to the target audience. This is assigned to Ms. Jovellanos. Script writer. The script writer has the responsibility to create the plan of the project as well as the dialogue of all the other members. Assigned in this task is Ms. Ambon. Documentor. The documentor will be responsible for documenting the whole process of the project from start to finish. The documenter of the group will be Ms. Blanco. Lastly, the team manager. The team manager spearheads the group and monitors the members and oversees the planning, preparation, and presentation of the project. To fulfill this task is Ms. Rubio. Here is the timeline in accomplishing the tasks. Within the 2 weeks time frame, our group intends to accomplish the following. For the first week, we plan to create the Facebook page of the project, which will help the project gather interested sponsors and support. Realignment, planning, and finalization of plan will also be done before the weekends. Using the page, we also plan to post informative publications, which will then be shared by the followers, boosting the page, then widening its scope. When the target number of followers are met, a donation drive will then be conducted. Boosting the page is still continuous at this time. Steady posting of informative pubs will still be done. Within the first week, the school where the project will immerse will be finalized together with finalizing the schedule. On the second week, all the specific details of the plan will be finalized and reviewed. Presentation materials, foreign partnerships, and received donations will also then be reviewed and finalized. A specific time within the second week will be set to be the end of the donation drive. For transparency purposes, donation drive updates will be posted later that scheduled deadline at 6 p.m. Then, after a thorough review of the plans and rigorous preparations, the school tour project will be launched by the end of the second week. In terms of statistics, we aim to reach 10 public schools across Metro Manila. Our ultimate end result will be visiting public schools on a national scale. With a total of 100 participants, may it be the children from the school or other children from outside who want to join the event. Lastly, as we have bigger plans for this event, it is important we get sponsors or partners to help out, especially with funding, transportation, prizes, and food for the children. These possible sponsors or partners should also join not only to give money, but because they align with our goals and trust in our project. With every film watching event we conduct, we want to effectively show the importance of the sustainable development goal featured in the film as well as share the cultures from Thailand, particularly Siam. We aim to start discussions about these topics at a young age to start their critical thinking. Additionally, we aim to frame these concepts in a way that would excite them and get them interested even after we leave. We want to leave a long lasting impact that they would remember until they grow up. Thank you for watching.